2:39 at Newstalk 1290. I'm Mike Stubbs along with Al Coombs. This Saturday, there is a huge event that comes to this area. And if you are a hockey player, have ever dreamed of playing pro, and maybe it just didn't work out. Maybe you got cut from that Pee Wee C team and you just never got back on track after that. Well, here is an opportunity that many people take advantage of each and every year to feel like a pro and at the same time help out in a huge way. Hockey Helps the Homeless arrives in London. Teams are set to go. Pros like Rick Vive and Todd Warner and Daryl Shannon and Gilbert Dion and Jack Valaket and Dennis Marouk and Megan Bozak and Mike Bullard. They're all going to be participating. That's just a few. We don't even have time to read. Dan Daouz going to be there. We don't even have time to read everybody who is going to be there. But we do have time to hang out with Jeff Aarssen for a few minutes, who is one of the co-chairs of the event this year. Jeff's been nice enough to come to the studio. Jeff, how are things?
Things are great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I wish people could see your suit on air. That is a good look.
A little bit of a Don Cherry look, isn't it?
It's amazing. Okay, let's find out a little bit more about Hockey Helps the Homeless, because we've heard it. It's almost become a household name, but for anybody who hasn't taken the time to learn about it, what is Hockey Helps the Homeless?
Well, Hockey Helps the Homeless, Mike, is an organization in its 19th year whose principal function is to combine the great game of hockey, which almost every Canadian loves, with supporting a great cause, which is to reduce homelessness in Canada. So it's in its 19th year now across Canada, second year in London. So they've gone mostly with NHL-based cities, and last year moved to OHL-based cities, London, Kitchener, and Barrie. And it really is to create an all-day fantasy event for players to give them that opportunity, as you just described, to lace them up with a former pro or Olympian, current Olympian, and just have a great day together. 3 games guaranteed, lots of kibitz, and the whole locker room, dressing room antics that go on. And at the same time, everybody is raising money to support this great cause to reduce and eliminate homelessness across Canada.
And let's take a few minutes to realize some things about homelessness in Canada, because we go thinking, hey, we live in the greatest country in the world, and most of us are lucky enough to get up and go to the fridge and head off to work. There are a lot of people who need a whole lot of help. How would you kind of put it into perspective as to how impactful homelessness actually is?
It is an absolute day-to-day event that people struggle with and face. And over a given year in Canada, as many as 250,000 Canadians will experience either temporary or chronic homelessness in Canada. And even closer to home, here in London, Ontario, between 250 and 300 individuals every night have no place to lay their head. So it's a chronic problem that we in a nation, as you say, a developed country, a first world nation, that we have the means to eliminate and reduce significantly if we can eliminate it. So it hits home each and every day.
So hang on, we've got 33 million people roughly. 250,000 homeless in this country on any given day?
Well, at some point throughout the year, 250,000 Canadians will experience homelessness.
Wow, that is a lot. That's a number you can't get your head around. Okay, so that's why Hockey Helps the Homeless is helping out. Now, teams are filled for this year. Make sure you get in on this for next year, because this is an absolutely fantastic event. But if you are a fan, if maybe one of your childhood heroes is going to be there, is there any way for the public to kind of go and watch any part of this?
Absolutely, Mike. We encourage it strongly. The event's being held this Saturday at the Western Fair Sports District. The games start at 9 o'clock and run through till about 5:15. The real primo game, if you want to see all the pros in action, will be an all-star game, which will be played at 4:20 p.m. this Saturday at Western Fair. And it will include all the pros, all the current Olympians we have out, and they will actually play against our top fundraisers. So you're going to have an opportunity to come in on some former defenseman in the NHL and give him a little whack on the ankle as you cut in toward the net. So it should be a great event, if not to watch just any game throughout the day, because we have multiple games played throughout the day. There are 14 teams, lots of players. There's a silent auction that the public can even bid on, put their name down on a piece of memorabilia or some item they might want to bid on. But also just an opportunity to see these pros. They're walking around Western Fair all day and get their autograph, talk to them, say hello to them, and they're doing a great part by being a part of this great event.
And you've known the hockey world for a long time. hockey players, they've got to still be the most down-to-earth athletes out there.
They sure are. I don't want to be biased, but I would tend to say that hockey players, particularly Canadian hockey players, are salt and earth kind of guys, and women as well. They're very humble. They give of their time. They understand how hard it was to get to where they are, and in turn, many of them give back to causes like Hockey Helps the Homeless, and it's just great to see. It's a lot of fun.
If somebody wanted to donate to actually help out the cause, what could they do?
They can go to hockeyhelpsthehomeless.com. We have a website, and you just click on the London event. And if you have the ability and the desire to contribute, there's a donate now button, and we would really welcome the financial support. We're tracking quite nicely this year. Last year was the inaugural event for London, and we were very proud. The committee under Tracy Marino, who is our chair, did a phenomenal job. And we set an all-time record for the most money raised by an inaugural event in the first year. And that money we raised enabled us to help support three main organizations here in London, which include the Unity Project, Marymount Family Support and Crisis Center, and Youth Opportunities Unlimited. So we're very proud to help those organizations provide shelter, survival kits, transitional housing, and return-to-work training programs for those who need it most.
Jeff Aarssen with us as we talk about Hockey Helps the Homeless, arriving this weekend at Western Fair. And remember, 4:20 if you want to head down to watch those All-Stars take on the top fundraisers. But you can head down anytime and hey, help to make that experience even better for somebody who has given their time, has raised money in support of fighting homelessness. You can be in the crowd. We create big, make signs, whatever you want to do. It is always an absolutely tremendous day, no matter what the center is. Jeff, before we let you go, and we're talking with Jeff Aarssen, and if you are a hockey fan in this area, you recognize the last name because Jeff is the father of Scott Aarssen, who starred with the London Knights and then with the Western Mustangs, and now has enjoyed some time seeing the world through hockey. Where is Scott right now? I know he's back right now, but where did he play this past year?
This past season, Mike, he had the opportunity to play in Glasgow for a team called the Braehead Clan of the United Kingdom Elite League. It's a great league, a lot of fun. The hockey is very similar to North American hockey. They actually body check and hit over there, unlike some of the other leagues in Europe. And he was fortunate enough to play with another former London Knight, Lee Salters, who was his roommate. And they had a great experience, finished second in their league, and have qualified for the Champions Hockey League of Hockey for Europe next year.
So is that like the soccer
Same
Champions
idea.
League?
Same idea.
No
right.
way.
Yeah, so they're very excited.
So they'll be among the top club teams in Europe.
You got it.
Vying for a big-time championship.
That's exactly right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, were you able to get over it all to see games?
Actually, we were, Mike. I took my wife, Sally, and my daughter, Andrea, over for about 8 days, and fortunately, we were able to see 5 games. They won all 5 games. I've never
played 5 games
in 8 days. It was a little bit unusual. We struck a point in the schedule which is very flukish because they typically play 2 games a week.
Okay.
But we sort of went in before one weekend and stayed till after the other weekend, and we were able to see all 5 games in one week, and they won them all. So nice. The coach was threatening to duct tape me to a chair and not let me leave, but it was a lot of fun.
And what are the fans like?
Fans are rabid. They're nouveau fans, which are the best fans typically. The chants go on throughout the game. You rarely sit down. There are drums, there are flags, there are signs, very much like a football soccer experience in Europe. And they're rabid. Everybody's wearing a jersey. They're very excited. They don't understand the game as well as North Americans or Canadians yet, but they're getting there. And their rink where they stay typically sells out. So it's a great atmosphere.
Has it won Scott over enough to go back?
He's going back one more year. He's so excited. So he's really enjoyed the experience.
Well, let's create that kind of an atmosphere this weekend at Western Fair as we have Hockey Helps the Homeless. Again, 4:20, the All-Stars will take on the top fundraisers. You can head down at any time. And, Jeff, if somebody wanted to help out, what's the best place to do that again?
Again, go to hockeyhelpsthehomeless.com, the website. And if you feel compelled and have the desire to donate and help support this great cause, or even learn a little bit more about the cause itself, you can get information there.
Jeff, thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, no problem, Mike. Always enjoy speaking with you.